before. Right, thank you. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining today's section. So we'll be giving more 5 minutes for others to join. We are expecting a good numbers of person on today's section. Exactly 7:05, we will officially start the program. Thank you once again. Thank you for joining. All right. Thank you for it's not although it's not yet 5 minutes after 7, but while we wait for others to join, we I think we need to do some few introduction of ourselves. I will be irrespective of the name that appear here. I'll just start up so that we can just introduce ourselves. I can see Ruhama on the call. You can just introduce yourself, your name, and where you are joining us from. Thank you.
Okay, good evening to everyone. My name is Rohama Berry, and I am joining in from Lagos. Thank you.
Welcome. We have on the list again Yellow Day. Please, can you introduce yourself? Where are you joining us from? Your name and where you are joining us from. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ano.
Apologies, we didn't get that clearly. Since she's having some network issues. The next person on my list is Darasimi. Please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dara Simila Adeji, and I'm joining from Ibadan.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining. On my list, I have Esther.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Esther, joining from Lagos.
Right. Thank you for joining. I think others I will do their introductions myself. Once again, thank you for joining today's section. And today's is the Buildersstudio demo day. If you are excited, kindly go to the chat box and drop your favorite emojis. And just drop your emojis, your excitement emojis. Let's see that spirit of excitement in you. It hasn't been an easy one for those that participated in the program. We had sections where we had network glitches, we had uh, it cutting across with our own engagements, and sometimes power outage, battery lows, data consumption, and a lot more. So if you are excited, you can just go to the chat box and start dropping for the participants. We have to see that, expecting. And, thank you, Yelude. Thank you for joining. Thank you for that. We won't be spending much of our time here, and I believe as participants actually are excited to have come this far to be celebrated. It's a huge day for them, and I can see most of them on the call currently. No further ado, I think we'll be moving as fast as we can. So once again, welcome to the Buildersstudio demo day. On my agenda, we'll be moving so fast, but I've not seen one person which I am kind of waiting for him to join. Coming. All right. Okay. So we will be moving on. So welcome to the demo day. On my agenda, we will be giving a brief intro. We all know what we are here for. It is actually to hear from the graduates of the product management courses, which was held from May till the June and early days of August. It was a rigorous one. They went through a hand-on experience program. They were taken through some of those courses that will build them to become good product management managers that will provide solutions to some of those challenges we have been having, most especially in the tech aspect of product. So today they have come up with some insightful and innovative ideas that will be pitched and also will be giving feedback. We have on this call some of the judges that will be doing justice to that. And I will be giving a brief intro to them, giving a brief introduction to their expertise and what they do. So on the first guest who will be doing justice to the presentation, we have Ezzy Frederick, who is a product manager with Reliance Health. On that position, she spearheaded initiatives that have not only streamlined processes, but also significantly reduced costs and enhanced users' experience. Her work has positively impacted over 400,000 users and 1,600 business, reflecting her commitment to delivering solutions that drive meaningful change and improve experience. Beyond her role at Reliance Health, Eze holds leadership position in the people's in product community, a community that support and empowers fellow product managers by providing valuable resources and guidance. She's also actively involved with the Girl Lead Project, an organization dedicated to equipping young girls with technical, entrepreneurial, and leadership skills. In her free time, Ezzy enjoys expressing her creativity through painting. So, Ms. Ezzy Frederick, you're welcome and thank you for joining today's section and thank you for honoring the call to serve as one of the judge for today's natives ideas presentation. Please, if you're on the call, can you say a few words before we move on to our next guest? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much for the introduction. I am glad to be part of this program. I'm looking forward to seeing how it unfolds. Thank you.
Thank you for joining once again. So our next person. Okay, our next guest on this call is that person that Ms. Moshokwe Onifade. She is a customer experience lead at BitNop, where she brings over 7 years of her experience in delivering exceptional customer service and also acting as a reliable intermediary between consumers and organizations. Under her leadership, BitNop's Net Promoter Scores and yes, has seen a remarkable increase from 25 to 43, representing a 75% improvement. In addition to her role as a customer experience lead, Ms. Onifade also serves as a product manager for Shopee, an innovative product that leverages AI to assist customers who prefer not to own a virtual card or face challenges with making payment. Ms. Onifade is a lifelong learner committed to believe that one must take control of their destiny to achieve greatness. Interesting. Outside of her professional endeavors, she enjoys reading fictional books and watching movies. Ms. Moshokpe Onifade, thank you for honoring the call and also thank you for joining today's section and also serving as one of the judge for the natives presentations. Please, if you're on the call, kindly unmute yourself and say a few words. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. I'm glad to be here and let's do this. Thank you.
All right, thank you once again. Moving to the last person on our list. So the last person who will be serving as one of the judge is no other person than Paul Afolabi, a software engineer who works with First Bank. So Paul is an ITIL certified software developer who develops product focused on value co-creations for stakeholders involved at all levels. He implements a combination of ITSM and agile practices using specific value streams in the development environment to present inclusive products that meet users' needs and yield positive business outcomes. Currently, Paul leverages technology to solve financial problems for Africa. So, Mr. Paul Afolabi, thank you for joining today's section. Please, if you're on this call, kindly unmute yourself and say some few words. Thank you. I sense he is having some network issues. We will come back to him later on. So once again, thank you for joining. So we will be moving on to give a brief knowledge of the teams that work with Buildersstudio. A few members that work with Buildersstudio. Please, to the next slide.
All right.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So, thank you for. Please, can you hear me? I think I lost something. All right. So I will be handing over to Damola Oladipo, who will be taking on to introduce the teams, the Buildersstudio. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Favor. Good evening, everybody. Myself and Favor, we are team members at Buildersstudio. And before we start, I'd just like to do a short intro of what we do. And before we get started to the presentations by Ruama and Darasimi. So Buildersstudio, basically, we are having a program coming up in about 2-3 weeks now, and we'd love you to help us to amplify this message. So primarily, we want to train people for free, and our target is to get 1,000 people to register. And if you're looking forward to kickstart your career as a tech sales person, as a designer, as a data person, as a product guy, as an engineering folk, I'm looking forward to learn the fundamentals of this field and trying to see if this tech field or tech roles we fit into them. We can tell them to register for the event, and it's going to be hands-on learning and practical experiences for them as they join. And so after now, we're going to be sharing some of this information on our social platforms. You can do it to help us to amplify them as well. So secondly, we're having up an event coming in November, and it's like a big brother to the boot camp. So this is like a Builders First. And primarily the problem I've seen so far in this space is that a lot of people learn a tech skill, probably an engineer or a product manager, a product designer, and then you are left to yourself to gain mastery. So the sense of Builder First is that it's not just a conference, it's a 6-day hands-on learning. So we're bringing in experts who will be taking the participant through rigorous learning on cutting-edge technology and models and tools and resources that could make us become more efficient in the ecosystem. So it's going to be a 6-day hands-on rigorous training and keynote speeches across board. So more of this also coming out along this month. We'll be calling for instructors, for partners, for sponsorship, and helping us to amplify this news of how we can help ourselves as tech talents in Africa, especially Nigeria, for us to be the best version of what we can be able to do. So for us to get started today, I'll just go over to the presentation rules, and then I'll hand over to the first person to make presentations, and then we'll get started. So like I said, so Buildersstudio, basically, our mission, basically what we're trying to achieve is to help any person who's going to pass through the studio to become the version they desired, regardless whether you're a designer, you're an engineer, you're a product person, whatever we have contact with the studio, you could be able to get the knowledge, the experience you need to transport from 0 to 1 as you begin your career journey, or as you jumpstart your career as a tech professional. And so I'm happy that we're having this conversation today, and I'm hoping in the long term, it can help us to amplify these messages and help many persons who are looking forward to break into tech. So for today, the presentation rule is quite simple. It's going to be 10-minute presentation and 10 minutes for Q&A. So after each person make a presentation, I'm sure one or two more persons from the judges will have questions or comments, and then we go over that to the last person. And then at the end, we'll have some little other information I'd like to share with you as we get started. So thank you so much, and over to you, Favor. Favor, are you there?
Yeah, thank you so much for that brief intro and brief knowledge sharing on Buildersstudio. On the presentation, we are having two of the participants who will be sharing with us the ideas, product ideas that I've actually come up with. So the first person on the list is Darasimi Oladeji. She will be coming up with her own product ideas, and she's have 10 minutes to do that. The second person is Ruama, but before Ruama comes up, I think there will be questions either from the members that join the call and from our judges before Ruama comes up. So Darasimi, the mic is yours. You can come up with your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, no.
Please, before you start, kindly note that you just have 10 minutes for that, while we have time for questions. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. Please, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see that.
All right, good evening, everyone. So, my name is Oluwadara Similaladeju, and I'll be doing a product tear down on Duolingo. The main idea of doing a product tear down is to analyze the product and to see whether there can be any improvements that the product can improve on. So the contents of this project is the introduction, the product problem, the customer segment, the jobs to be done, the customer insights, the new feature prioritization, and the success metrics. Moving to the introduction. So the app that I'm going to be talking about is Duolingo. So Duolingo is a popular language learning application that offers a gamified and interactive approach to learning new languages. It is a free app that provides personalized lessons, exercises, and quizzes to help users develop reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. Duolingo offers courses in over 30 languages, including Spanish, French, German, Italian, Chinese, Japanese, and many more. Its mission is to make language education accessible, fun, and free for everyone. So basically, the app is all about the app is mainly for users that want to learn a new languages, and the app consists of over 30 languages. And from the diagram here, these are the learners of Duolingo languages in 2023. For we can study this very well and see the population of people that are using Duolingo as at last year. Moving on to the key features of Duolingo, it implies the things that you are going to see on Duolingo immediately you open the app. So the first thing is gamification. It consists of points, badges, and leaderboards, which makes learning fun and engaging. So the app helps users to learn language and it helps them to learn. Its approach to language learning is gamification. That is, they learn languages through games, and also it consists of interactive lessons. It contains mini exercises and quizzes that cover a wide range of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation in the language involved. It also consists of personalized learning. Duolingo adapts to users' level, interest, and learning styles. So it helps users to learn personally. Another feature is that offline access. Users can learn anywhere, anytime without an internet connection. And the last one is community features. Discussion forums, clubs, and language-specific groups that connect users with friends on Duolingo. So it makes users to connect with other people
No.
that are also users of Duolingo.
Normal.
Can I go?
Hi, Damola, please. Your mic is on. Apologies for that.
So these key features are not the only features of Duolingo, but these are the most important ones that are available on the application. And the next thing is the product problem, that is the customer pain points. So here I highlighted 3 pain points that most customers are facing as regards the application. And the first one is difficulty in staying motivated and engaged in language learning as a result of advertisements. So the application makes use of advertisements. Immediately you end a lesson, there will be a particular ad that will follow it, and even before you start a particular lesson, there is also a particular advertisement that is going to start before you can start the lesson. So that is the pain point for customers, for people that use it, for users rather. And the second one is the need for better language learning resources. Most customers complain that the learning resources, the resources that are used, they are not enough, and they are not of enough quality. And for example, now the app does not make use of language in context. It's just explain the most important things in language. It does not explain the culture of the language as used in context. And that is a major problem for customers, for consumers, especially when they want to practice the language in another country. And then they find out that this particular sentence or word cannot be used in this context. And the last one is the frustration of repeating exercises over and over again. For a particular lesson, a particular module on Duolingo, at least module 1 can comprise of 5 lessons now. So within that 5 lessons, like 3 of those lessons, you might see a repetition. It is points on the part of the users also. And to segment them, this is a market segmentation of the users that are affected by the pain points. And the first pain point, difficulty in staying motivated and engaged in language learning as a result of arts. The people that are mostly affected by this are students and young professionals. And the second pain point, the people that are mostly affected are serious learners and global learners. People that are serious, that want to learn language, that want to learn the importance of language and the use of language in wider communications. These pain points really affect them. And the last one is the last pain point affects casual learners and premium users. For premium users now, premium users, for you to be a premium user of the app, it is required that you pay a particular amount of money to subscribe to the application. So for people that are paying money, for them to be seeing exercises that they've done before, it is a pain point on their own part. So that is why premium users are affected by the pain point of repeating exercises over and over again. And this is the chart. So in this chart, in this customer segmentation charts now, premium users are the ones that are not mostly affected by the 3 pain points. Then followed by global learners and young professionals. So we can see from these charts that casual learners, serious learners, and students, they are mostly affected by these pain points. And the next thing is, now that is the jobs to be done. Fine, now that there are pain points that the users are facing, what are the things that can be done? What are the jobs that can be done to solve these pain points? So the first job to be done is to find an engaging and ad-free language learning experience. Um, um, the first one is to find an engaging and ad-free language learning experience. A solution that is going to engage. The first job is to find a solution that is going to make the users engaged whenever they are learning language, and at the same time is going to solve the problem of advertisements. And the second job to be done is to discover comprehensive and relevant language learning materials, including languages used for contextual purposes. So there are still some learning materials that can be explored and added into the system of the application. And the last one is engage with varied and challenging language exercises. So instead of repeating exercises, the users should be able to engage with challenging exercises and not exercises that they've learned before. So by addressing this job to be done, Duolingo can increase user retention and engagement, provide a premium ad-free experience, offer high-quality resources for serious learners, and enhance exercise variety to avoid repetition. And next thing is the customer insight on Duolingo. So according to users survey on Duolingo, 71% of users find advertisement annoying. 80% of users want more comprehensive lessons. 75% of users get bored with repetitive exercises. 40% of users would pay for an ad-free version, that is for premium users. Then 60% of users seek more interactive exercises, and 50% of users want more challenging content. And these are the customer quotes on Duolingo. But when a user said, I love Duolingo, but the ads are annoying. So we can see from here that the pain point is really, really disturbing. Another one said, I need more challenging lessons to improve my skills. And the last one said, I get bored with the same exercises every day. So it was from these quotes that the pain points were derived from. And now, new feature prioritization on Duolingo. So, to address the job to be done now, to solve the pain points, which which new feature can be introduced on Duolingo to address the pain points? So I suggested that Duolingo should use smart practice. I suggest that Duolingo should use smart practice. So using smart practice, Duolingo can address all these pain points. So what is smart practice? Smart practice is a personalized learning approach that uses data and analytics to optimize practice recommendations. It adapts to user strengths, weaknesses, and learning styles. So how can smart practice solve the pain point? The first thing that smart practice can do, practice feature can do is that it will provide an uninterrupted learning experiences, thereby allowing users to focus on their goals without distractions. And it can also tailor lesson to individual users' needs and goals, increasing engagement and motivation. So implementation of smart practice driven challenges and reward can also motivate users, reducing reliance on ads for engagement. Through smart practice, we can also make use of AI to identify knowledge gaps and recommend varied exercises. Another one is adjustment of difficulty level based on users' performance. Math practice can help adjust the levels where exercises are being repeated based on the user's performance, based on how the user is progressing in the language. Then through smart practice, you can also increase exercise difficulty as user progresses. And another one is introduction of new concepts and skills to keep users engaged. Smart practice feature can also help to do that. And lastly, it can provide a sense of accomplishment as users overcome challenges. Now, what are the things that we are going to check to see if this smart practice feature can really work? So the first thing we are going to check is user engagement. We'll analyze the daily active users, the weekly active users, and the average session length. The average session length is how many hours, how many minutes, or how many seconds do the user spend on the application. So we're going to check that once the new feature has been introduced. And the second one is learning outcomes. So we'll check the number of users reaching new levels. The time spent on lessons and exercises, and the accuracy and completion rates. So we're going to check the learning outcomes of the users. What are the outcomes after? What are the outcomes as they are learning, their language learning, as introducing smart practice now to Duolingo, as their language, as the way they are learning language, as it improved. So we're going to check that. And the last one is users satisfaction. We'll also check users retention rates after the feature has been introduced. How long are the users spending on the application? And then we're going to check the feature adoption rate, is how they've adopted the feature. Is it that some are going to check the percent of the users that find it interesting and those that do not like the new feature? And also we're going to check the ratings and the reviews, the number of users that rated the new feature and their reviews, their thoughts about the new feature. And the last thing to check is the user's feedback and sentiment analysis. We're going to check their feedback on the application after the introduction of smart practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such an insightful presentation. So I'll be leaving the floor for any of us before our judges come on board to give their own questions. Do any of us, aside from the participant, have questions to ask as regards what she just presented? Okay, Adetomiwa, see your hands up. Kindly unmute yourself. You have just 2 minutes for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, well done. I don't know the name of the person who presented, but well done. Yeah, I use Duolingo daily. I still use today. I wanted to ask where you got those data from. You know, you said you showed the data of certain percentage of users, blah blah blah. And I was also like, wow, I don't see ads. All right, I don't see ads disrupting my learning, and I've been learning. I think today should be my day 160 something. All right, using Duolingo. So I don't see ads actually, because you are meant to see ads after you have completed the learning, you know, like a lesson. So, and when you check ads, you are going to be you will receive remuneration, right? Like, you know, you'll be compensated, like, okay, see ads and gain one more ads, and ads is like, you know, like a lifeline. So I guess, you know, for me, it's engaging. So I'm like, okay, I'm seeing those, you know, people are saying ads, people are saying there's repetitive class. I don't know, maybe it's because of the language they are learning. I learn German. Okay, I'm currently learning German, but I don't have those, you know, those situations. So that's why I want to get, where did you get those data? You know, those the graph you plotted, you know, how did you get your, you know, those pain points? You said certain persons quoted this and that. Where did you get those feedback? So that's what I want to just ask so that I can also go and check for myself. Thank you.
Darasimi, I don't know if you are open to answering that, or it should be after where the judges have made their own feedback.
I'll do that after the judges have made their feedback.
All right, thank you so much. So over to our judges. We'll be having on my list is the first who will be giving some feedback and also questions as regards Darasimi's presentation. Thank you. So you have 4 minutes for that.
Okay, thank you, Darasimi. It was quite an interesting presentation. I don't use Duolingo, but this presentation has made me become aware about most of the features. I have an idea of what the app does, but I don't use it. So it was really insightful. I just have few things that I saw you did well, and I feel like, okay, if you could add these things, it will make the product tear down in the future even better for you to do. Because as product managers, sometimes during interviews, you are asked to do product tear downs on the spot. So there are some of these things that are quite significant. So just starting off, the introduction that you gave was really great. And I feel that if you can add metrics to that introduction, let's say you try to make people understand, since you had time to gather this data or gather information about Duolingo, if you can say, okay, this particular product was launched in so year, and give an instance on how much user they'll be able to acquire maybe the first 5 years and how it's doing now, to compare people to know, oh, this product is actually doing well, like they've increased a so percentage, or they've made so percentage in profits. So people understand that, okay, this is actually a great product, or to know if it's actually a bad product that we're trying to tear down, right? And so that can actually help during the introduction. I saw you actually put the number of countries and people. I think I saw number of countries and number of people that were using it, but it's good if you do that in context. Say, oh, these are the number of people, 10 million in 2015 to 2017, for instance. So that's one thing that I think would be better. The question that the person who asked the last question, sorry, I didn't get your name as well. I think Odunlade asked was what was also in my mind. But before I get there, for the key features that you listed, I know that there are other apps that also do similar thing as Duolingo. So it would be great if for next time you add the competitors feature. Maybe there's another app that does the same thing as Duolingo. And for instance, they have the option of speaking to a live tutor to help maybe analyze whatever your exam, sorry, your I think maybe your test or quiz or whatever. So you can just compare how Duolingo is doing in terms of the features to other competitors, like, and that would also be great. So for the data, I was also curious to know how or where exactly you were able to get that. You mentioned the customer pain points. So I feel that Duolingo is actually a very popular app, and speaking to people, friends, families, colleagues that use that, so that you can use that as a basis for your data point, would actually be great. I'm still hoping to have to get the answer to the question, like if you have that, but yeah, if you can use give the numbers of people, maybe it can, no matter the number of people you spoke to, if there is data, it is very, very easy for you to convince users, convince stakeholders on the kind of stuff that you're talking about, right? And the market segmentation graph. So one thing about presentation, program managers they do presentations a lot. It would be great if people can read your presentation understand what it means without you explaining it, right? So that chart, I think that it was lacking some variables. Like without explaining what it was saying, we need to know, okay, this is a number of the percentage. I don't know if you can share your slides, but I think I'm running out of time. But I feel like it was only showing, I think, numbers down, so I could not compare it with any other thing there. If I had to listen to what you were saying to understand what exactly the graph was trying to show. And so yeah, so basically these are the, okay, if you can go down there. So another thing, yeah, so it just says percentage of words, right? And these are premium users. So you just like give a key, I think they call it a key, to try to make users understand what you're comparing against. So is it the percentage of users or percentage of maybe profit, for instance, per user? I don't know what you're trying to tell us here with this graph here, sorry, with this chart. Then the success metrics that you mentioned. So I feel that it would be great to define the success metric to track the effectiveness of the solution. Like if you can try to bring it, compare it closely with the idea, the solutions that you're given for the points that you listed. Let's say, for instance, you say, okay, the solution is to make it go freemium or make it free, for instance, so people will not even have the ad to disturb them. How are you going to measure that particular solution? Okay, how are you going to measure it? Then one last thing I just want to say is, when we are doing product tear down, apart from focusing on the users, it's good to also understand the organization, right? What is the goal of Duolingo? What are they trying to achieve? If profit is what is more important for Duolingo, and you're telling them that, and for instance, the ads is how they get that money, right? I feel like if you, for instance, try to say, oh, taking down this ad is not good, for instance, and but it gives them that money. It helps them to achieve their goal, right? I don't know how to word this, but considering the organization's goal is quite important when we are trying to build product. Because as a product managers, we are not just building products for users. Companies are there to make profits. Either they are there or we are building product for better user engagement. You're building it for better experiences. So we need to understand what the business wants, the goal the business wants, compare it to the users as well. So it has to be all-rounder, okay? Not just focusing only on the customers. We need to consider the business as well. So, but aside that, I really enjoyed your presentation. It was easy to understand. It was straight to the point, and you touched so many parts. Like I didn't see success metric, and I was like, okay, she talk about that. But going down the slide, I saw that, oh, you mentioned success metrics, but there are just little things that I just noticed. But yeah, thank you so much, Darasimi. This was a wonderful presentation. Sorry, I went above 4 minutes. I wasn't keeping to time though. I wasn't looking at the time, but yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Ezzy. Frederick, thank you for such an insightful feedback. So we will be moving to Ms. Unifade Moshokwe. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you so much. You can just call me Mo. Mo is fine. Well done, Dara. That was, I think I'm just going to almost repeat what Tokumbo said and what Ezi said. So great background, knowledge, right? Just explaining what Duolingo is. Coincidentally, I used to, use Duolingo for French, and I was diving into Korean language. But then I stopped. I just uninstalled the app. I don't know. I started. Probably I was just. But I recently just started doing like an online French class. So you explaining what Duolingo is just brought back kind of memories, right? And now I was literally just tempted to reinstall the app. So great background knowledge, like breaking down what Duolingo is for people that would not know what it is, that would have been a very great insight. So just points that I noticed, right? First of all, the surveys that you made, it would have, my first question is, did you use Duolingo yourself? Like, did you download the app and like run through it yourself to just have like a first-hand experience? That's one. Two, it would have been really nice if you had like personalized surveys. So I don't know who made that point, family, friends, not just, complaints or feedback from maybe their stores, right? The Apple Store, Google, the Play Store, personalized surveys. So you would say something like, I sent out a form to like 17 people to 20 people, and then this is the feedback I got. These people have used. Oh, great, nice. Yeah. So that would have been a very nice touch, right? I think Izzy talked about like competitiveness, right? You pointing out how to make Duolingo better. The keynotes that you made concerning learning resources is something that I say if a customer, a user comes to our company that's big enough and says, "Oh, you guys should have this on your app." Now is that in our pipeline? Is that on Bitnob's pipeline? Right? Even if it might be a great idea for that customer. So the company also has to wait. And you also mentioned difficulty in staying motivated because of ads. I think as like Tokumbo said, sorry, Tomiwa, I've been calling you Tokumbo, I'm so sorry. As Tomiwa said, the ad is like an incentive. I don't know if you also noticed that. So when you watch an ad, it's supposed to give you points. I don't know how they do it now. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But that's how it used to be. Then lastly, frustration of repeating exercises over and over again. Personally, that's how I learn. So I've done like an exercise now, and maybe I open the app again tomorrow or next tomorrow, maybe like next week, right? For my learning style, I want to, maybe I did not even have, I've been so busy with work or whatever life has thrown at me last week or so. I want to reiterate. So that's not an issue for me, right? So maybe I'm not part of the percentage that happened to. I think as Izzy said, the chat was good, but it would have been better if you would have put like maybe the percentage on the bars. So for instance, maybe like 15%, or just put the numbers as the percent on the bars themselves, and maybe just a few points beside the chat, so that without you even explaining, if you had just seen that chat, we would have just understood what you're basically trying to say. Last but not the least, the success metrics. You actually lost me on that. I did not really. Was the success metrics after? Is it? I don't know. Where does that come in? Is it? Did they update their app or what? Like, how did you? What's the success metrics about? So maybe you just. I really, really hope you're writing this down. Like all the things we've asked you, and like just, it will be really. It's really great feedback. So yeah, thank you. I'm done. Well done.
Right.
Well done once again. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mo. Thank you for such an insightful. What I think I personally is I'm learning a lot about Duolingo. I often use it, but also I deleted it because of some certain things. So we will be moving so fast. Our next judge is Paul Oafolabi. Thank you. The floor is yours, sir.
Hi, Darasimi. Hi, Favor. Yeah, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yeah, you're loud. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't speak up the other time. Apologies. Yeah, Darasimi, good presentation to start with. I've never used Duolingo personally, but I have friends who use Duolingo, and most times they use Duolingo when they either want to work for an international company or they are planning to leave the country to go to a non-English speaking country. Yeah, that is when many people use Duolingo, people that I know, right? And at the beginning of your presentation, I was expecting you to start with a story because I believe that project management or product management revolves around presentation. Even if you have a great product, if you cannot infuse storytelling into it, you're not really going to capture the attention of stakeholders. And that's what you really want to do at the end of the day, to get the attention of stakeholders. Whether your product is good or it's not good, you want to get the attention of stakeholders. Yeah, so if you have a great product and you are selling it to stakeholders, you need to infuse storytelling into it because that is one of the best ways to get the attention of stakeholders. Yeah, so I was expecting you to start with a story of somebody trying to use Duolingo and then the problems, the challenges the person faced while using Duolingo. Yeah, for example, maybe Paul wants to travel to Germany to further his studies, and something like that. And he needs to learn German language. He needs to learn Dutch. Yeah. So decide to subscribe to Duolingo and other things like that. Then you can infuse these pain points into the story you are trying to illustrate. That way, before we even go through your presentation, we already have an idea of what you're talking about and the problem you want to solve, right? And the presentation is not bad. It's a good one to start with. And I would say that I wouldn't question how you got your data, right? But I would assume that the data are accurate. Yeah, and then considering that, I would say that you put in a lot of work and research into this presentation. It wasn't watery. Yeah, the data tells me that you put in a lot of work and research into the presentation. Yeah, but then my question for you is, number one, why did you choose to work on this project? Why did you choose to look into Duolingo? Yeah, is it that you have interest in learning multiple languages, or what? What took you to research about Duolingo? That's the first one. And then the second one is, after this presentation, what now? What next? Do you plan to build on the presentation, or do you plan to maybe go into product management full time? Do you plan on writing any certification? What next after now? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Paul Afolabi. I hope Darasimi, you got the questions from Tomiwa down to the judges. You have 5 minutes to give a short answer to that. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the feedbacks. And I was not able to pen down most of the questions, but I still remember some. So the last question is from Mr. Tomura. He said, "What do I plan to do? What's next?" As regards to what's next, I'm not sure for now. And for why I chose to work on this application is because I started learning French language from this application in year 2021. And that was when I entered university to study linguistics and communication studies. So I can say that using this application, the main reason I'm using this application is because of my course of study, because it relates to it. Linguistics involves the study of language, so that is why I chose to work on this application. And as regards to where I got the data from, the data was gotten from Play Store, from the customers review. And as for ads, on the application, there is a particular part where, okay, maybe for example now, you take a particular lesson, and then after that, a 5 seconds ad is going to show. And even after the 5 seconds ad, I'm talking from my own experience now. And even after the 5 seconds ad advertisement, there is still another one that is going to tell you if you want to watch another ad to get a reward. So that is entirely different. And there is another one that tells you to watch advertisements, probably if you've exhausted um the 5 lives given to you, then you can watch an advertisement to regain the regain your life on the application. So that's it. So as regards from where I got the data from, the data was from Play Store, from the users review. Yes.
All right, thank you so much for a short answer to that. I think on the arts, I actually can attest a little bit to that. I have used Duolingo for some times before I went off from it. I hope she has done some little justice, or do we still have any other thing to add up to that from our judges?
None from me. None
Okay.
from me is fine. Yeah.
It says Z. Do you have any other thing to add to that before we move on?
I'm fine as well. That's fine.
All right, Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul.
Yeah, Favor. There's nothing more to say.
All right, thank you so much. So moving on, we'll be inviting the second person, the second participant of the program, Miss Rohama Iferej, who will be presenting her own idea. The mic is yours. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Please, Favor, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. All right. Good evening to everyone. All protocols duly observed. My name is Rohama Ifere, and I'll be presenting my products here down of focusing on 2 products and future recommendations. The 2 products are Truly Verify Africa and also Reliance Care. So next slide, please. So as we proceed, I'll just introduce myself. My name is, again, like I said, Rama Ifere. I'm a gender equality activist, a public interest technologist, and current product management learner with the Buildersstudio. Next slide, please. All right, Truly Verify Africa. The first product is Truly Verify Africa, and here is the problem statement. Disinformation has become a very serious pandemic that affects millions of young people all over the world. And what this means is that it leads to frustration and lack of trust in not just the government, in authorities, and it limits civic participation of young people. So for Truly Verify Africa, we identified these 2 problem statements among young people that are prevalent with social media. And one is lack of understanding among citizens about the practical steps that they can take to identify, address, and prevent the spread of fake news. And the second is that many individuals are unsure of how to verify information, to report misinformation, or contribute to a more informed community. So they understand that this news that they have seen may not be verified, but they don't know how to go about verifying if this is fake news or if this is real news. So it's easier to just repost and share instead of double checking, because the process of verifying this information, whether it's true or not, is very tasky. Or secondly, they do not even know the know-how of how to go about it. I mean, simple things like using the Google image to verify if this image that has been posted in this article relates to what is being shared, and which will not take even up to 5 minutes, is some of the skills or some of the knowledge that most young users do not have. Please, next slide. So Truly Verify Africa focuses on young people, like I've stated earlier, from 18 to 25 social media users. And for Truly Verify Africa, the job to be done in trying to bridge the gap of these pain points that have been identified earlier is a mobile responsive site that aims to empower young Africans with the critical thinking skills that they need through fact-checking platform and media literacy skills. So what this essentially means is that since we've identified that many young people do not have the know-how or the knowledge, or are just clueless as to how to go about going fact-checking and making sure that whatever it is that they are posting or whatever information that they are being fed is verified and is not resonating maybe with their bias or the opinions that they've held before. This mobile responsive site that is Truly Verify Africa aims to empower young Africans with these critical thinking skills that they need through the fact-checking platform and the media literacy skills. Please, next slide. Excuse me. So the approach here is research and user interviews, user journey, solutions, and then solution prioritization. Next slide. So for the research and user interview, we conducted an online survey, and we're able to pick. I'm able to pick rather three feedbacks from these surveys that we got, and one of that focuses on financial literacy. This information actually occurs in different ways. So for Amina here, who's a budding entrepreneur, 27 years old, South Africa. She wants to start her own business, but she's bombarded with online get rich quick schemes and misleading investment advice. And what this does is that Amina feels hesitant to take any financial steps. Earlier on, I had talked about how disinformation or the resultant consequences of disinformation is that it leads to frustration and it limits one's participation or one's ability to take actions in whatever it is they want to do. For Amina, yeah, she's unable to take actions, to take any financial steps because of she doesn't have access to the best I say resources or materials that is needed for her as a budding entrepreneur. For climate change, yeah, Kwame is an eco-conscious student, 22 years old, Kenya. He's passionate about environmental protection. However, he encounters online content denying climate change and downplaying its urgency, and this disrupts his trust in scientific knowledge. Essentially, the summary here is that from Kwame's feedback, he's not fully able to grasp the impact of climate change. I mean, climate change is also another pandemic that is really ravaging different societies, from flood to droughts and rainfalls that are not easily ascertainable. And what this does is that it leads to forced migration and displacement of people. And for Kwame, yeah, he's unable to really link the nexus between this climate change and how it affects people because of the kind of content that he has been encountering online. And therefore, this has led to a distrust in scientific knowledge. For education, Bolanle, the aspiring teacher, 18 years old, Nigeria. Bolanle dreams of becoming a teacher. However, she stumbles upon a huge divide of digital made information, ignorance of discerning credible information, and meets a sea of misleading narratives online. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. User journey. So here comes Truly Verify Africa. Truly Verify Africa have heard where I say the cries of young people. And what they decided to do, like I earlier mentioned, is a mobile responsive site to empower these young people all over Africa, especially with critical thinking skills and fact-checking skills. So for Truly Africa, you can check www.trulyverifyafrica.org. So if you zoom your page, I'm trying to zoom my page, but it can't show because I'm not the one sharing screen. So if you zoom your page, you see this is like the landing slide. This first part here is like the landing slide of Truly Verify Africa. And then when you click on this about us here, it shows the fact check commitment on how you can fact check to be able to get verified news. Here it mentions that we are dedicated to ensuring the accuracy and integrity of information, claim identification, in-depth research, verification, and reporting. And then it talks about how Truly Verify Africa does that through the empowerment literacy programs, both physical and virtual. And then it focuses on how young people can collaborate against misinformation. Please, next slide. So for solution here, earlier on I shared 3 case studies: Bolanle, the aspiring teacher; Kwame, the eco-conscious student; and Amina, the budding entrepreneur. So when they come to Truly Verify Africa sites, having understood the pain points of these young people, what Truly Verify Africa does for Bolanle, the aspiring teacher, is to empower Bolanle with fact-checking tools and media literacy resources, enabling her to verify historical claims and critically evaluate online context. And what this means is that the impact or the job that has been done in this part is that Bolanle now becomes a media literate educator, confidently teaching accurately and using verified resources. Please, next slide. For Kwame, Truly Verify Africa provides Kwame with access to verified climate data and collaboration tools to connect with other young climate activists. And the impact here is that Kwame is equipped with knowledge and a network, and he advocates for climate action based on scientific facts and inspiring others from the resources that is able to get from Truly Verify Africa. Please, next slide. And then for Amina, Truly Verify Africa offers Amina financial literacy resources and collaboration with financial experts. And the impact here is that Amina makes informed financial decisions, she avoids risky ventures, and she builds a solid foundation for our entrepreneur journey. So I'm moving to the next product, which is next step is Reliance Care. Reliance Care HMO. I'm going to be discussing, or rather talking more about Reliance HMO based on my own experience as one who uses this Reliance HMO. And for Reliance HMO, they've identified the pain points of their target audience. Their target audience here are primarily employees, and of course, companies like fintech, education, advertising agencies, and others. And the pain points here that have been identified is: 1, the lack of a proactive health management plan for employees that will help them to thrive at work. And then 2, the pain of worrying due to lack of tangible healthcare benefits for families. So what are we saying here? For me, for instance, I'm a project manager with a insurance company, and so I am, registered with the Reliance HMO. The pain of, having to locate hospitals within the area that I stay, and also having to now go through all those processes of, registration in the hospital, and all of those things have actually been bridged by this Reliance HMO, because all I can do right now is that with my card, which is like an access, I can just go to any of the providers through their providers list on Reliance HMO app, and then, let them know that I'm here for a medical checkup. This is how I feel, or I'm here for an optical checkup. This is what I think I need, and then they can help to verify if what I'm thinking what I feel is the symptom is actually the right thing that is affecting me, or maybe there's something else that is being involved. It's like a thorough checkup, and it's based on the HMO plans that one is registered under. So next slide, please. So like I said, target audience, employees, HR, companies, education, advertising, fintech, logistics, the job to be done. So what Reliance HMO has done is that they built a mobile responsive platform, as well as an app that simplifies the claims processes and then facilitates employees access to healthcare instantly via telemedicine. Again, if you are familiar with the Reliance HMO app, I've been able to have consultations, like free online consultations with some doctors without even having to go to hospitals. And then based on how I feel at that moment, they can, prescribe drugs for me, or if there's a need to eventually get to the hospital for, that physical checkup, they can also direct me to one within my area. And please, next slide. I had a consultation. Okay, so sorry, please go back. Sorry, go back. Thank you. So I had a consultation with a particular doctor, I think Dr. Wanko, on the app, and I complained about the hotness and all the things that I felt, and he eventually prescribed what was wrong, and then directed me to a pharmacy in my area within that's Okota area, and I was able to just go there and pick it up. In fact, there's also options for delivery. I didn't try the delivery because I was already on my way home, so I was able to just go and pick it up. But there were options for if you wanted it to be delivered. So I can't really speak to if I'm the one that's supposed to pay, or if my HMO still covers that. Again, like I said, it depends on the HMO plan that one is registered under. Next slide, please. And so for the approach, research and user interviews, user journey, solution prioritization. Next slide. So for research and user interviews, from the feedback from the testimonials on the Reliance HMO websites, Shemun Olakpeleke is saying, with Reliance HMO, I can always get in touch with a doctor, even if I don't want to go to the hospital. So this is somewhat like what I was sharing earlier, that even I myself have tried it as one who is subscribed to Reliance HMO as an employee, and I've been able to get free consultations without having to step into the hospitals. Because again, I think one thing this does is that it helps to build trust in hospitals and doctors and medicines. I, for one, I don't like the smell of hospitals. Like when I get to the hospital, I have flashbacks. It's kind of traumatic for me. So if I can really, really, reduce that walking to the hospitals, I am fine. I will buy into that idea. So the next one here says Adeyoni, from Adeyoni says, my headache has been solved. My staff can access good health care. So it goes to show that Reliance HMO here is a very, very proactive health app. And then another person here, Transparent, says, I have peace of mind like never before using Reliance HMO. Again, this is just to say that Reliance HMO is doing great, because I'm a user, and we've tried other HMOs in my company. I don't want to mention the company here, but we've tried other HMO in the insurance company, and it didn't really work. Most of us were frustrated and all of those things. But Reliance HMO, the feedbacks have been amazing. For Justina, a colleague in my office, when she takes a day off to go for her checkup, she knows that everything is usually covered, and there's no come back, see us later and all of those things, because the HMO really covers a lot of expenses for her, and a lot of health coverage, not just for her, but also her and her daughter. So next slide, please. Okay, so this is me, yeah, just to just to further proof that okay, I do have I'm registered with the Reliance Care. This is my my section here. Like I'm a red barrel individual. And then I just want us to focus on something here. So if you look at the right hand side, you see ongoing, you see closed. So for ongoing here, it means if I'm having a current consultation with any doctor. And then for closed here is the consultations that I've had and we've rounded up and it led to maybe redirection to a pharmacy or to a hospital. Please, next slide. So consulting a doctor, if you look at the closed section here, I've had consultations with Dr. Wako like twice. I've had consultation with Dr. Ayono, and yeah, also in this access care here, it shows the part of the app here where I can view my profile, I can consult a doctor, I can access secondary care, cycle planner, find a provider. By provider, like find hospitals or eye clinic or whatever it is that I need relating to health coverage within my area or somewhere close to me at that time. And then benefits list. Benefits list here means that, okay, as someone who's like a red berry individual, for an instance, what benefits accrues to me? Am I entitled to a spa? Am I entitled to a gym? I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not entitled to a spa and a gym, but you know, whatever it is that you're entitled to, you get to see, and you get to see the coverage. If it's 10,000 naira limit, if it's 100,000 naira limit, and all of that. Please, next slide. So for new feature prioritization, this is like my recommendation as not just a user now, but as a product manager using Reliance HMO. One thing I think I'm having a problem with is real-time medical consultation history. So what do I mean? By real-time medical consultation history, I mean that if, for instance, I am directed to go to the hospital, I have like a file opened in that hospital. They check me and all of those things. It could be malaria, it could be typhoid, whatsoever it is that they tell me it is, and they give me drugs and I go. I don't have access to my file. So most times I've asked questions like, can I have access to my file? Just to see what's going on, because you are writing on your own end and then you are telling me what it is that is going on. However, if for instance maybe at the organization I work with, they are asking me for feedback as to, okay, you took a day off, or you took 2 days off, so how do we get, or what's like the proof or the evidence, or like an alibi, if I'll use that legal term, that states that, okay, indeed you went to the hospital, and there's like a medical report of some sort. I don't know if this is clear. So I've asked several times, even when I went to an eye clinic, I wanted to have like my test result, but they don't give that. I don't know if this is like a policy or a contract between these providers and the Reliance HMO. But I feel like what can help to build more trust in the medical consultations is for even the users or the beneficiaries to have access their own real-time medical consultation history. Again, I'll give another example. Like I said, when I went to a particular eye clinic, their range was very, very expensive. I mean, I wanted to get recommended eyeglasses and all of that. And I decided that, okay, fine, I could get a eye frame outside, and then I could just go to somewhere that can be more affordable, so that I can be able to beat down the cost. So I asked for my result, and then they didn't want to give it to me, saying that it's not covered with my HMO and all of those things. So I do not know if this is just ascribed to a particular user, or if this is just like a policy or a contract. But I feel like if there's a real-time medical consultation history that users can get, or beneficiaries, it will go a long way in increasing trust in the medical consultation and services that's provided. And then I'm suggesting, or I'm recommending offline consultancy. And by offline consultancy here, I wanted to put it here, but I couldn't. I mean like a trying to look for the right word, not necessarily a USSD code, but like a free consultation line. So I'll give an example. I mean, I do not have data. Let's say I don't have data. Let's create an example. I don't have data. I'm not able to access my app, my Reliance app, and I don't want to go to the hospital, right? I mean, probably because of the way I'm feeling and all of that. So I should be able to still access Reliance HMO, probably with a USSD code, if maybe I have credits, or with a free toll line that I can be able to, get connected to a doctor and, get consultations. I don't know if this is asking for too much, but then again, I feel like if this is really worked on, there will be an increase also in user growth rates, because of course many people like things that are free, but it's not just things that are free now. This is like a win-win situation. So you're having more people reaching out to providers or to Reliance HMO, and it's kind of sets Reliance HMO apart from other HMOs, because one, it shows that there's reliability. Two, it shows that there's access. Three, it shows that there's affordability with regards to how users and are using Reliance HMO platform. So next slide, please. All right. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to your feedbacks and questions. Thank you.
Jesus. All right. Thank you so much, Ruhama. Thank you for such an insightful presentations. But before our judges come up, I want to ask if Anu Lua, Galati 27, Samuel, and Tomiwa, if you have any questions to ask or feedback to give as regards the presentation, the floor is open for that. Thank you. Tomiwa, Galati 27, even Darasimi, or Yelude and Samuel, do we have any questions? Okay. Tomiwa says he doesn't have any. All right. If there is none from people on the call, I think I will be calling Miss Mo. Yeah, sorry. To come and give her feedbacks and questions as regards Rohama's presentation. Thank you. The floor is.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hi, once again. Ruhama, are you from the north? I do have like northern, like call it
No.
heritage or something, just because of your name, for nothing else.
No,
You don't.
okay, I'm
Okay.
from the East. Name is actually from the Bible. It's a Hebrew name.
Ah, right. Okay, that's fine. Thanks. I mean, that's really unrelated. So thank you so much for the presentation. I'll just really go straight to the points. I just was totally lost. I understand first of all, why did you choose to talk about two products? Personally, I get, how would I put this? My attention span is it's not very short. It's just, I try to, when things are too long, I have to focus, like put more energy in concentrating. And that's what I had to do to your presentation today. I feel like you should have just chosen one and just nailed it, right? If you wanted to, it sounded like you had more to say about the Reliance products. Maybe you should have just focused more of your energy on that. And then, and in general, I just feel like your presentations would have been way shorter. The slides would have been way shorter. Your delivery punches would have been on the spot and faster. That being said, I really like the idea about the initiative behind how to resolve like fake news, putting like three examples, three different people's perspective, like three angles. I would even want to talk about like an elderly person. For instance, I would have probably mentioned my mother, like this our mom's generation, how anything their friends send to them on WhatsApp, they will just send it to every single person that they know, whether it's true, whether it's not true. So when you started that presentation, I was very curious. I was at the edge of my seat, just trying to hear like those type of relating stories, which you actually did justice to at some point. I actually don't have anything to really say than the points I give, than the feedback I give. I just wish you'd have focused more on one product, to just add more quality to your presentation. Basically, I think AC works. I think she has a Reliance under her belt. Maybe she'll have a lot to say about this. I don't know, because we spoke about Reliance healthcare. I actually also use Reliance. So I don't know. Maybe she will have something to say to your presentation. Maybe that's what she even does. I think so. If I'm correct. So yeah, I'll pass the mic to AC. So for her to respond to you. Well done.
Yeah, before Izzy comes up, we would love to have her. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, carry on, please. Yeah, okay.
Before he comes up, we'd love to have Paul Afolabi to drop his feedback on that, and also if he has any question. So
Yeah, in favor. Can you hear me?
yes.
Oh, all right. Hi, Rohama. I hope I'm correct. So about the presentation, real-time medical record updates. I think that's really great. That's really great. And I think there's more to it beyond what you spoke about. Currently, if you are subscribed to an HMO, you would have access to as many hospitals that are registered under that HMO. So if you seek for medical attention while you're in Lagos and then you get relocated to another state, let's say your state, and then you need medical attention as well. For every hospital you visit, for every
How many
hospital,
bags are you carrying? Is it one or two?
Damola, can you mute?
Two checked-in bags.
Hi,
From
Damola.
UK to
Mic
Canada.
is on.
Am I muted?
Yes.
Checked-in bags, I'm saying like
Sorry.
3K.
Yeah, so for every hospital you visit, you are going to answer the same set of questions over and over again. Let's say you only treat malaria. So if you go to hospital A, you are going to answer questions about, oh, when was the last time you fell sick? When was the last time this one? Do you have symptoms of this and that, and all like that? If you go to another hospital B, you are going to answer the same set of questions because you don't have access to your medical record. So that feature is going to even solve more problems. In a situation whereby your medical record is being updated in real time, every hospital subscribed to a particular HM will be able to see that record, irrespective of the hospital you go to. They can easily go through your record and know what your biological system is like and how appropriately you've been attended to and how they should attend to you. You understand? Yeah, so it's a good one. However, I feel that at the beginning of your presentation, you should have moved the storytelling part because in between your presentation, you spoke about 3 characters. I think you should have infused that at the beginning of the presentation to give us an idea of the entirety of what you're talking about. Yeah, that way you wouldn't have to read the problem statement word for word. During the storytelling part, we'll be able to understand that, okay, this is the problem you're trying to solve, and this is the value the products you are proposing or the solutions you are proposing would solve. And overall, I think there was a divergence in between. In the middle of your presentation, you start speaking about something else. Yeah. But then my question is, like I asked the first person, that's the Darasimi. After this, what next? What do you hope to do? Do you plan on building on this or what? I'd like to hear that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul Afolabi. Before she do justice to that, we'll be having as Frederick, who will be coming to give her feedbacks, and probably if she has questions, she can also ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Rohama. This was a very, very interesting presentation. I really enjoyed listening to you. But could you like display the very first slide you did? I have a question there. It's going to help me with what I want to talk about. But yeah, first of all, I love that you have a lot of storytelling in this time. I love that. I love that you added the personas. Yeah, there was personas that you mentioned and all of that. That was really great. No, the very first, no, the very first one. Yeah. Okay. So that's fine. Okay, this was also a product tear down. I wanted to be sure. Please, can you confirm if this was a product tear down presentation you did, like you tried to do? So
Yes, this is the beginning, yes.
So this is a product. So it's actually the same concept with Darasimi, right?
So I'm not clear on your question. When you said the same concept, what do you mean?
Like Darasimi did a product tear down, try to tell us about a product and what is wrong with it and what they can improve on. That's
Yes.
the same thing. Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, so I love that you did the storytelling and all. It was very interesting to hear, and I have the same sentiment as I'm really terrible with names. Musokwe. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. Yeah. At some point I felt like you were losing my attention, right? So as Paul said, as product managers, we do a lot of presentation. So it's important that we learn how to keep the attention of our audience by compressing information into slides. I think for the second use personas that you had them in different slides, I felt that there's a way you have placed everything in one slide. So to save you time and also keep the attention of the users. Sorry, I said of users. Oh my God, of your audience. Yeah, so that's great. And you also mentioned that you did survey. I mean, that's how you got these personas that you did. And it would be great to have the results of that survey just for next time. Just tell us, oh, it was 27 and 3 said this, 3 did that. Just the same thing we told Arasimi. If it's great if you have that for the future. I have never heard of Truly. I don't know whether I'm under the rock. I was really interested when you started mentioning Truly, and I would definitely check out that product after this session. And so since this was actually a product tear down, I was looking forward to hearing you talk about the value that Truly has provided so far. Right? We want to know if actually they are solving the problem that they claim. Like, is there a way we can get data for that? Or apart from those people that you interviewed, sorry, the users that you interviewed, right? So generally, is there any way we can know that? Because my mother, she still sends those things to me, right? Do they have any way that we can know that, oh, this is actually effective so far? Is it like a good product? So that we can compare that to the recommendation that you're preferring for them, right? Before I move to Reliance Health, just to give you insight, right? So for proper product tear down, it's important after you give the objective and whatever the product does, you talk about the data collection. You should need to evaluate the user interface, the user experience and performance, and then your recommendation is going to be based on what you analyzed. Oh, we saw this, but we feel that this can be better, right? So I felt that last part of it was sort of missing. It was so interesting that I think if this was not, that's what I wanted to know, if it was actually product tear down or you're just evaluating the product entirely. Now, moving to Reliance Health, I am very happy that I am hearing good feedback about Reliance Health. I am a product manager there, and some of the features that you showed on that app are something that I personally have worked on, and I'm still working to improve some. I think maybe I could even reach out to you because I see you have really, really wonderful ideas and something that we are actually looking forward to implementing as well. Now, sorry, I'm trying not to be very critical here, but you mentioned that product that you said one of the is it jobs to be done, or what they do is that the app help in simplifying claims processes, right? One thing with product management, honestly, I feel if you don't have, if you cannot defend things that you're showing to your stakeholders, right? It's better you don't say it. It's better you don't say it. The app does not somehow right now does not help in simplifying claims process. That's it's a very complex thing that was added there. So you must have lifted it out somewhere. But if you don't understand like something that you cannot defend it if a question is asked, I feel that it's better you don't include it there. So that was actually like, it came off sort of misinformation. If I was just a random stakeholders, I would ask a lot of questions there to understand, but just something if listen to like every single detail that you're adding or the information that you're passing across so that you are able to defend everything that you're saying. And also comparison in anything you're doing, let us know. There's always somebody doing something better or a competitor that particular product is working to be better than. Always include it, even for Truly. I think it's Truly, right? Even for Truly, add competitors. For Reliance, we have competitors. It's important you try to, the feature that we're evaluating, there are other people that also do that thing, right? It actually would also help. And I also noticed that there were some inconsistencies in your fonts. I think the last slide, some were bold. The title was not bold, I think it was not in bold, and others were bold, and the alignment was not consistent, right? So it can be distracting. It can be distracted. There are people that are very finicky that they will just be distracted, trying to like, oh, why is this not aligned well? And they're not listening to what you're trying to say. So yes, these little things, as little as they can be like this, believe me, they are very important when you're presenting to people. Then one last thing that I noticed you kept saying when for your product recommendation for Reliance, I kept saying, because you are a user, I made this mistake when I started first. Because I used something and I became a product manager for that particular product, because I was working on an internal product before I moved to working on something on the app. I was using that internal product. And believe me, I was blinded because I knew I was a user. So all the problems that I was facing while using that product, I started looking for how to solve for those things. And I wasn't really willing to open up my mind to listening to users, right? So I hear you say, oh, I use this. And when you recommended, you kept saying, I feel like if we do this, I feel like more people are reaching out to them. You made it seem like more people are reaching out to Reliance. How did you know? Where is the data, right? The fact that you like it doesn't mean that the next person that is using it also likes it, right? So try to disconnect yourself as a user from whatever product that you're building. It will help you, it will open your mind. You'll be surprised that something you think is a wonderful feature, it is horrible to somebody else, right? So you are not building for yourself. Always think about that. You're building for other people. You're building for people, and it's actually going to help with that, right? And also data. I didn't see a lot of data in this, right? You mentioned a lot of things, a lot of features. Data is actually very important. So, but aside that, right, you captured my attention. Like, I love your presentation. It was really, really, really interesting. At some point, it was long, but yes, you can do better with the slides and the long explanation. So thank you very much for the presentation. Yeah, that's it from me.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Ezif. Thank you for such an insightful feedback. I think the floor is still open for Ruama to answer some of the questions from Ezi and Paul. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, thank you, Ms. Musope, thank you, Mr. Paul, and Miss Izzy, for the feedback. I've taken a lot of notes. I really appreciate. Um, the first question came from Mr. Paul. So Mr. Paul was saying, I hope I can remember. Yes, you said what's next for Truly and also for Reliance. So for Truly Verify Africa, what's next is actually to integrate the AI part for the fact checking, because again, I stated out the website www.trulyverifyafrica.org. For now, that's fact checking aspect is not really functional. It's just the media literacy skills with the workshop, both the virtual and the physical. So there's still the need to integrate that AI aspect for the fact checking, make it faster for people to be able to check and not feel overwhelmed when trying to verify or debunk fake news. Yes, so that's what's next for Truly Verify. But also it's an the website is actually something that belongs to me. I mean, something I'm working on with a team. So I thought to like tear down the product to the best of my ability and get feedbacks on that. So thank you so much for the feedback. I don't know if I missed any of your question again. Then for Miss Az, yes, thank you also for the feedback. You mentioned something about my personalized pronouns, saying I as a user and all of those things. It's really a blind slide. It's really a blind side, and it's something I'm going to work on, because I'm not the only user, and because I like it does not mean that everybody like it. But then again, I was speaking for, when I say over 10, 10 employees in the insurance company I work with. I mean, based on the feedbacks I would get. So I was standing as their voice, but I'll make sure to, get solid data next time I'm doing such presentations, and, statistics that will help to buttress my points. So Favor, I don't know if I missed any other question, but I know that I got the question for Mr. Paul. Did I miss any other question, Favor?
No, you didn't. You didn't. I don't know if they have any other comment to make as regards the answers you just dropped.
Yes. Yes. Then I'll definitely connect with you, Miss Izzy, with regards to my recommendations. I'll be happy to see how that can work or may work. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Mo still have something to say. You can come on board.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, I don't know if you left room for this for later, but I just wanted to see this for Rohama and for um Dara Simi. Once again, well done. It's not easy. I'm just trying to imagine, like, first presentation and in general, right? I think it was really good from my end. Obviously there's a lot of room for improvements. But this was actually really good from you guys. For Dara, I don't know if she's still on the call, if she can hear me. One of the things I missed for her was more visual representation. I would prefer that, as if I was like a stakeholder, right? More visual representation of something for me to just get excited for or about. And for you, Rahama, just like I said initially, breakdown of just buttressing your points. And so at the end of your presentation, what is it? What is the solution? How do you intend to bring the solution to life, basically? That's one of the major things I was actually looking for. But yeah, great work all in all. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Mo. I actually wanted to bring this up after the whole discussion. And from my end, I have learned so many things from Duolingo, truly, to Reliance Health. It was a whole lot of things. I think my notes from here is filled up. I get a lot of feedbacks and not just on product management, even as a presenter, I learned so many things that uh, we need to take up while we are doing presentation. But before I will have our final words from the judges, I think Adetomi will have something to say. You just have 2 minutes because we are behind our time.
All right. I missed, my network was bad, so I missed that point where truly was mentioned. So I didn't get the spelling. So I checked the Google, I didn't quite get it. So please, can you just give me the spelling for that truly?
Okay, Rahama, I think you can drop it on the chat box for him to pick that up. Thank you. So I would like to welcome the judges from AZ. Do you have any final word to say on what has been talked from the both presenters?
Okay, it's just encouragement. Um, I just hope you guys not take it too hard. The feedback we give, we try to be as constructive as possible, but it's very, very impressive. I remember my own first presentation and you guys are presenting. So it's really impressive what Buildersstudio is doing. And I'm happy that you guys, at least from this I've gotten, I feel that you guys already understand the basic product concepts and you know how exactly is expected as a product manager. So just don't be scared to make mistakes, take feedbacks and just keep learning. And as you practicalize and you get your hands dirty, you understand things even better. So I'm just congratulating you in advance. So yeah, that's just it from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Z. Frederick. And up to Paul, your final words for the presenters. Paul,
Hi,
okay.
Favor, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So my final word would be that this is a great one. I don't know, is this Darasimi's and Rahama's first time in product management ecosystem? I don't know, but if it is, this is a good starting point. And I mean, coming thus far, it's a great one. I wish them the very best. I look forward to meeting both of you. I mean, if life permits, yeah. When next we meet, I look forward to a bigger and better version of yourselves. Yeah, congratulations. I wish you the best in your career and future aspirations.
All right, thank you so much. And we are almost getting to the end of today's section, demo day. But before we go off, I will invite Damola Oladipo, who will be giving us more information on Builderstudio's deck and a lot more before we'll be closing up. Hi, Damola. Floor is yours.
All right. Favor, thank you so much. To my friends and our judges, Izzy, Mushokwe, and Afolabi, thank you so much for your presence and for your feedback so far to Darasimi and Rama. And I'm sure they've taken the feedbacks and I'm sure they will work on how best they can become better on a daily basis. And so this is like a 2.5 months kind of conversations with them, and they will be moving into the internship phase where we'll get to get our hands more dirty on product management, on how they can put some of these concepts into practice. Yeah, so thank you so much. And so before we go, I just want to share some of the things that I have in pipeline for Buildersstudio, and I'm sure you have someone or who will be looking forward to get those kind of benefits. Let me put it that way. So I started out thinking about the product or the idea right from a long time now. And the problem I saw is basically this. So you see a lot of people go through a boot camp like this, and then they will, after 3 months, you are left just like the way Paul was asking, what next? So most often, most persons will either give up after practicing for a few weeks. Some persons will be looking for internship. Some persons will try to be resilient and try to find one thing or two to do with the new skill. And it's a very recurring problem that I've seen. And you could see that this problem is quite enormous, and people are looking for a way to gain practical experiences, not just theory. And so that's why I tried as much as possible to be able to compress the learnings into about 2 to 3 months. So the next 3 months for Darasim and Roma, I'll be working with myself and my team to do more of practice and handwork on hands-on experience or handwork on practicing product. So basically, the intention of what I'm trying to do with all of this is that I want to help people to build your capacity in solving problems, right? You can be able to create outcomes yourself. That is why I did not give them personal feedback on their slide. I wanted to come from other people. So when we go to the internship, we can look at the gaps they have and how best we can fill these knowledge gap as we progress. Also, I'm looking forward to build their confidence, like make sure that you can be able to create visuals that will give you some level of leverage when you make presentations as a product manager, and also help you to work in team. Most of the concept is in isolation, but when you work with us, you'll be able to gain your more knowledge on how best to work in a product team where you can work with an engineer, a product designer, a customer support person, or a marketing specialist. And the end goal is that all of this is to make sure that you can have the basic skill and the resources to go for the kind of job or opportunity you're looking for. And so basically, if you have anybody who's looking forward to get something like this, you can be able to direct their attention to us, and we'll be looking forward to help them to make them become a better version of themselves. So the studio basically helps as many persons that are looking forward to become that innate version they desire. So most of the things we'll be doing are tailored made. So we're going to be talking to these people to understand their problems and what they want to be like in the next 6 months, the next 8 months. And then most of our programs have been structured to make sure that you can help them become that version they desire. So we also have a WhatsApp community where we share information about products, about software engineering, basically how best people can work on a team alongside other cross-functional teams to become the desired tech talent they want to be. So basically, this is like our mission. We want to become an enabler to which you pursue things to get your version. So you're like this small guy without little knowledge on engineering, little knowledge on products, little knowledge on data, little knowledge on design. So we come with Buildersstudio. We are the support you need to pursue knowledge, the resources, scenarios, case studies, to the end to which you can become this version in a few weeks down the line, in a month down the line, in 6 months down the line. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to achieve. And it's cut across a customized kind of learning experience or skill, I like it now, a customized experience for anyone who's coming, whether you've learned something for 6 months, you've gone for a boot camp, and are looking for what next. That is where Buildersstudio come in, to make sure that you can have all it takes to become that version that each of these tech talents become. So thank you. If you've not followed on social media, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, and also on Instagram. And thank you so much once again for staying up to this time, for everyone who's on the call, and also to our judges. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for how you've been able to guide them to see they can be better than this, but this is a stepping stone for them to climb upon. And I want over to Favor, and that'll be all from me. Thank you so much. On behalf of Builders, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Favor, over to you now.
Yeah,
I think Favor is off the call, probably through maybe because of the network. So I think we've come to the end of today's conversation, and
Just confirm.
thank you so much once again for joining, and do have a fruitful and a restful weekend, everyone.
Down the road after high school.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Axios. You see them Axios, AXS, Advanced.